last time you were on, but it's been a couple of years, and because I don't want to be bugging you every 5 minutes to be on my show.
Mhm.
But do you think when we talk about the movement, the movement era of the 1960s and 70s, do you think that the role of women is adequately, covered?
No. Mm-mm. No, absolutely not. Uh, well, first of all, we were always given these roles. Well, recently they've come out with some pieces, that. But in the 60s, it was pretty much, chauvinism, don't have a color. It just has a male, you know. And some women are not able to understand what's going on. But the woman question is still, well, as you can see, we're still fighting for women's rights right as we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think it has a color, you know.
Mm.
It's female. It is called the woman question because all women, of any nationality tend to have to go through some type of abuse, on the question of being just a woman. So I think when people criticize Dutchmen, I said, well, and say it's about a white woman, I said, well, honey, he had me being the absolute devil and a black man. That's how I met him. I was in that play.
For those of
And
you
then,
not familiar with my dad's work, Dutchman was one of his early plays. It won an Obie and got a lot of attention. And
yes.
yeah, it was even a film. So
Yeah.
but what are some of the things? Let's talk about some of the things you did and other women in the movement did that maybe people aren't as familiar with in terms of the organizing and the defining of issues and positions.
Well, the women's movement, I mean, boy, that would take a couple of days to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
The struggle for women's rights, I mean, we're still struggling today for equality between men and women in paychecks and the way they see us and what we're supposed to be doing. Like you say, the woman's role, it's a human role.
Right. But when we talk about the Black liberation movement or movements, among Black Americans in the 60s and 70s, we do hear about sexism, but I think sometimes what's less covered is the ways that women like yourself were influential and were right there working alongside those brothers.
Well, it was akin to slavery. Women's movements, like March, this is past March 8th, where International Working Women's Month has become March now, because most of those women were right downtown and in that factory and the working conditions in there. And so the women's movement has been since women existed, because the whole inequality between females and males, it's akin to what we would say one thinks about racism. They see women as an inferior class. And they have like the women's role. It's a human role, We can do anything we want to do. The only thing gets thing in our way is male chauvinism. And males don't have no color in terms of their chauvinism. Mm-mm.
Talking with Amina Baraka, when we continue this conversation, Amina, I really want to go. We'll start with where we left off when we were talking off the air, which is talking about one of the women heroes of women's history that you refer to, which is Sojourner Truth. I want to talk about her story and why it resonates so much with you when we continue on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
I'm going out with the girls this weekend. Nails done, outfit stunner, and my skin? I know it's gonna be glowing because I glammed up my shower routine with new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. It smells so luxurious and moisturizes deep into my skin with its super rich, creamy lather that's bursting with vitamin B3. So my skin glows and my confidence grows. Try new Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash for glowing skin in just 14 days.
Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm-fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties: classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a new Samsung Galaxy A15 for just $99. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah! Good talk.
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. In-store activation on single Silver Unlimited plan or higher required. Family plan discount with 4 lines all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're talking with Amina Baraka. She is an author, a poet. Her poetry collection, Blues in All Hues, came out in 2014. You can find that wherever you get your books. And she also happens to be my bonus mom, married for many decades to my father, the late Amiri Baraka. And Amina, we were talking off the air, just speaking on heroes of women's history, about Sojourner Truth, someone that you really look up to. And I mean, she was born in the 1700s and died in 1883.
Yeah.
What is about Sojourner Truth that resonates with you?
Well, at the Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio in 1851, I'll read what I always call it a poem that she wrote. It says, that man over there, say, that is a woman, needs to be helped in 2 carriages, lifted over ditches, and to have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helped me into a carriage or over mud puddles or gives me a best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arm. I have plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could ever head me. And ain't I a woman? I could have eat as much as any man when I could get it, and bear the lash as well. And ain't I a woman? I have borne 13 children and seen them most all sold off into slavery. And when I cried out for a mother's grief, none but Jesus heard. And ain't I a woman? And that's the speech she made at the Women's Rights Convention in Akron, Ohio in 1851. Yeah.
And that speech, I mean, when I hear it resonates. It kind of embodies in some ways, Black feminism, because you have to deal with, the issues that you said, chauvinism that has no color, but at the same time, you're facing a different standard as a Black person.
Yeah, that's true because we have a triple oppression. First our sex, our color, and our class. Yeah.
What I did not realize was that Sojourner Truth, having that she was enslaved by Dutch-speaking people. This is in New York. So she was born into slavery. She was bought and she was sold a number of times. But this is all happening in New York. This is not Alabama. This is not
that's where
Mississippi.
The first African preschool was. That's where the first African preschool was in New York.
Yeah. And she actually ended up going on to become, I guess, was launched by that speech you just shared, right? She went on to become an activist, and having lived as an enslaved woman, she went on to become an activist, fighting for abolition of slavery and for women's rights.
Right, that's right.
Yeah,
she was fighting against chattel slavery. Chattel. That's not even a human being. That's something belonged to you. And you can sell them as you please from place to place and to whomever you please. That's why they called the Moses of the people. Yeah.
And at some point, she actually sat down for a meeting with Abraham Lincoln.
I've been told that. I have not read it anywhere, but I've been told that. She was very brave,
Well, I'm my source for that is the National Women's History Museum, but I think I just think about that generation too of women, men and women, but who were enslaved, and in their lifetime they experienced what you're saying, chattel slavery, but then to go from that to being an activist and ending up sitting down with the President of the United States, it just seems like a mind-boggling kind of bizarre reality of life.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And Kamala Harris is married to a white man.
Okay, and so, Amina, why do what line are you drawing when you say that? When you talk about Kamala?
I'm saying, people, initially, I had struggles with people because that was the only thing they could say about her. Well, I don't know, she's married to a white man. And so I said, well, you're a man though, ain't he? She said, yes, okay. You all got that one. This is all right with me.
Well, I think, when you talk about Women's History Month and Black women, Kamala Harris is in a really precarious position because she is a Black woman. And I know she is, she also has Indian roots, East Indian roots. And she is married to a Jewish American white man. But I feel like she gets attacked by everybody. It's like she gets attacked because people say she ain't Black enough. She's too Indian. She's not Indian enough. She's married to this guy. I feel like right now, I don't know, other than the AKAs, those Black women that would stand with her, through anything, she's in a pretty precarious position.
Well, she don't act like it. She just like a free woman should act.
That is true. I love the way you put that because I feel like it's become fashionable to bash her, and I just don't agree with that.
I didn't agree with it when people didn't want to be the vice president or the vice person. Yeah, I didn't agree with it then.
Yeah.
They were telling me that, she's not Black enough and this and that and the other. I said, they was talking about her like they knew her. So I said, when did you meet her?
Yeah. Well, part of that comes from the fact that she, her background is as a prosecutor. But I think some of that is about the online attacks in, saying her mom's parents were slaveholders, which isn't true, but let's think about all the Black Americans from here who have slaveholders in their family tree, whether we recognize it or not.
Right. Well, we live in a period of chattel of wage slavery, but she grew up in a period of actually being property, because I know both men and women, slaves, period. That's what it means, chattel slavery. You are not even a human being. You're just something to do work and whatever else they tell you got to do. And that's exactly why they had slave rebellions.
Many of them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that I can imagine what your reaction was then when Florida Governor Ron DeSantis tried to teach in school that slavery was some kind of jobs program where people learned valuable skills that they were able to profit from later in life.
Oh, really? I heard that story he told. I didn't get to hear him say it. But that was, oh, my. Well, chattel is not even a human being. It's something that you own, and it does what you want it to do. And if you don't do it, you get lashes. You get your ass beat. Or I shouldn't say that. You get beat.
And then when you talk about wage slavery, you're talking about what?
Yeah, lower wages than everybody else.
Yeah.
Just lower wages. If you get paid, they're like, well, if they give them a quarter, they might give you a penny.
Right.
And there it is.
And you see that as part of a continuum with chattel slavery?
Oh, well, of course. And they do the same thing to poor white people. And I know one is going to say, well, we came from Africa and they put us on the plantation and they did this and that and the other. Yeah, they did it. And they did it. And they were doing that to many of their own women of the same complexion, if you let them. People can do anything you let them do. Mm-hmm.
We're talking with Amina Baraka, a lifetime activist. She's a poet, a dancer, an actor. And if you want to get in on the conversation, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. Just in kitchen table, dinner table conversations, we've spoken and I've learned many things about Black women in the movement, heroes of women's history. We'll continue the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Top lawmakers on the Senate Intelligence Committee are warning about the greatest U.S. national security risks. During an interview on CBS News' Face the Nation, Virginia Democrat Mark Warner says the U.S. must push back against Russia in Ukraine, resolve the war in Gaza, but China remains the biggest challenge. He said China is aiming to control the tech domain and is actively stealing American intellectual property. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says he's confident Black voters will turn up for President Biden in November. In an interview with CBS's Face the Nation, Jeffrey said the president has delivered the lowest rate of unemployment in decades, historic investment in Black colleges and universities, and supported small business creation. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A special day Sunday for the USC women's basketball program. The Trojans won the Pac-12 tournament championship for the first time since 2014. They also found out they can win a title game when freshman sensation Juju Watkins has a bad day. The nation's second leading scorer had only 9 points Sunday against Stanford. USC still won. The Trojans beat Stanford by 13 in Vegas. Guard Mackenzie Forbes stepped up with a game-high 26. USC should get a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. The brackets will be announced next Sunday. The Lakers beat Minnesota by 11. Anthony Davis is the first player in NBA history to finish with 27 points, 25 rebounds, rebounds, 7 steals, 5 assists, and 3 block shots. The Clippers lost to Milwaukee. They played without Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. George has a sore left knee. Kawhi is nursing a groin injury. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey Californians, are you ready to make your home ownership dreams come true? The California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan Program might be for you. First-generation homebuyers can get down payment and closing cost assistance along with a first mortgage to help you unlock the door of your new home. Applications open in April, so talk to an approved lender to see if you're eligible. Find out more at calhfa.ca.gov/dream or call 877-922-5432. A message from the California Housing Finance Agency.
Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. Sometimes we try to fit it all in. Sometimes we don't know what's in store. Sometimes we find what we're looking for. Sometimes we're rolling easy and free. Sometimes 1 and 1 makes 3. So much to love along this ride. That's why Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio.
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count pack.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right.
Y'all gotta try that Febreze car.
Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your vent. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah. Breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
And we are talking to poet Amina Baraka. She is an activist, a writer, a mama, and an organizer. She has done all kinds of things in her time as an artist and organizer, including being part of the foundation of some well-known moments in Black history herself, being a founder, along with my father, her husband, Amiri Baraka, of Kimako's Blues People, the community art space in Newark, and was one of the founding members of the Black Radical Congress back in Chicago, Illinois, in the 90s, and many, many more initiatives. So she knows what she's talking about. And we were talking about Sojourner Truth because this is one woman who was an abolitionist and a women's rights activist back in the 1800s, who was an inspiration to you. And during the break, we were talking about putting that in the context of the times where she was challenging both abolitionists and the women's rights movement in different ways. And you were saying that wasn't even legal.
Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't legal.
Right. I mean, and I'm laughing, but that's actually true when we're talking about the laws of the land, right?
Yeah, you could sell it like a dollar bill.
And would be illegal to speak out. It would have been illegal for her to have challenged. In what ways would she have been challenging, like, abolitionists and or people in the women's rights movements? Like, what would she have been pushing them to recognize or understand?
Probably the movement that's coming along now where you see women are still fighting for equality.
Yeah.
And women of color are still fighting against racism and class, because the class question is always in it, because they did that to even white women.
Yeah.
March 8th, I think of that shirtwaist factory. Those were mostly white women got burned up in there, trying to get out of that place. Got set afire.
Speaking of wage slavery, you also mentioned Harriet Tubman, and I think a lot of times we hear about Harriet Tubman on a Black History Month poster or just, in passing, but don't understand the depth of what she really did.
Well, your brother Raz got a monument to her here in Newark. Got a beautiful Harriet Tubman statue that they made down there in downtown Newark. Yeah, they had a big celebration. I wasn't able to go, but it's beautiful. People come from all over to see that thing.
Yeah, I read about it. I haven't seen it yet. I don't think I've been in Newark since they put it up, but I read about it and I felt proud of my brother, your son. That being one of many things, I'm proud of him for his work there in Newark as mayor and even before that. But, we know of Harriet Tubman for the Underground Railroad and taking people up north and literally rescuing them from slavery, enslavement. I think less known is her work as a military operative.
Yeah, well, that's what I learned from the beginning because she was going back stealing slaves, stealing them away from the slave master.
Yep. And
Underground Railroad.
Yeah. And she's another one who was born enslaved in 1822, then escaped herself and kept bringing, did 13 trips.
Yeah. She went back and got you as long as she could.
And then founded a home for aged and indigent Negroes. That's something I wasn't taught when I learned about her, that not only did she do, rescue people and do these daring missions within the Civil War, but she also then was taking care of the elderly and indigent.
That's that's what we do. That's what women do.
I'm gonna bring up a name that's a little probably less known, because I always hear you talk about her, and that's Gloria Foster, an actress. And she was she was born in 1933. She died in 2001. But what was it about? What is about Gloria Foster that makes her one of your favorites, one of your heroes of Black history?
Because the woman's got skills. She can act. I'm telling you, she'll bring tears to your eyes and laughter to your heart. She is something. Yeah, she's one of my favorite. Because I was interested in acting. That's how I met your dad.
Yeah.
And even the play, the first play I did with him, The Slave Ship, that was about slavery, but the woman, they want to talk about Dutchman. I said, look, don't get too angry, because I played the role of a woman called Celia, who was, a black slave who actually near the end of the play, she turns into the devil.
Yeah. Well, I think I was surprised, veering a little off of, women's history. I'm always surprised at how many actors of all ages and descriptions tell me they started off in one of my father's plays.
Yeah, because they had what was that, theater company, I can't think of his name, Douglas somebody. And they had this little theater group down in the village. I forget the name of the street. And it no longer exists as well. But there was a lot of great actors. Some of them was always given parts that you didn't care for.
Right. There was never especially back then, there was less options for people. People may know Gloria Foster because she played the Oracle in The Matrix. But of course, in The Matrix Reloaded, that was her last film. And she was in the miniseries, The Atlanta Child Murders. She played the mother of Yusef Bell. But your fondness for her grew out of her work on the stage, as she was a Broadway actress.
Yes. That was mine. But you see, I'm sitting here in this room.
On the radio. But also, really, because you never stopped writing and singing and dancing and things, but when you moved away from, acting full time, you focused more on activism, right?
Yeah, but that's how I got in the first place. There was some, I think I was the only female, but there was some great black musicians, and we brought all nationalities in, but it was called The Law on the 30, what was the 32? It was on not Sterling Street. God, I can't, that's where we lived. But I can't think of the name of the street that it was on. Well, anyway, I was the only female in there from the very beginning. And then I brought a friend of mine involved. She got involved in it. But it was very few women involved in that theater work. That's actually the first place I met your dad. Mm-hmm.
Amina, do you, having been through various iterations, organizations, and waves within the movement, what advice would you give to women organizers now?
Well, they seem to be doing pretty good. I said we.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've always been at the forefront of the movement of any type. This is true. But around the woman question, I'm very proud of these young women and men that I see out there demonstrating around the whole question of Palestine and Israel. It's your sister, what is it, your niece? Amanda.
Oh, you're talking about my niece, yeah. Amina Baraka, yes.
Right, that's right. She was out there demonstrating, calling me up.
Oh, this weekend? Yesterday they were out in mass at the Oscars.
No, this was when at the very beginning.
Oh, I got you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know she was out there till I was told. Yeah.
One of my siblings, who shall go unnamed on the air, we'll save it for off the air, when we're talking about activism and the way that so many of us, well, really all of us, if you look at my father's kids, your kids, are activists in some way or another. That That sibling said, we were built for this. We were raised for this. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. When I say you're raised for it, because you grew up in another environment. Your mom wasn't no joke either. So it kind of like water. When it rains, if you don't have an umbrella, you'll get wet too.
We're talking with Amina Baraka. We're celebrating Women's History Month on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Venus for Pubic Hair and Skin is here with the only razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with a patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Visit GilletteVenus.com to learn more about our full regimen of products.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, I'm Dominique DiPrima, inviting you to join me at the City of Hawthorne's Business Expo and Job Fair, presented by Hawthorne City Councilwoman Katrina Manning. Explore great opportunities with leading national and local companies and participate in panel discussions with top entrepreneurs such as Goose the Barber, Camille C. Terry, and special guest speaker Danny Bakewell Jr., president of the LA Sentinel. So please join me and Council Member Katrina Manning on Thursday, March 14th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Hawthorne Memorial Center at 3901 West El Segundo Boulevard in Hawthorne for the Hawthorne Business Expo and Job Fair. That's Thursday, March 14th, the City of Hawthorne's Business Expo and Job Fair. Visit their website at hawthornebusinessexpo.org or call 310-349-2908. That's 310-349-2908 to register. It's absolutely free and open to the public. I'll see you there.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Talking with Amina Baraka. She is my bonus mom, but much more importantly than that, she's a poet, author, and performer. She co-edited a book called Confirmation, an anthology of African American women with Amiri Baraka, my father. In fact, if you're looking to brush up on some stuff for Women's History Month, that might be something to pick up. Confirmation, an anthology of African American women. And they also co-edited the music, Reflections on Jazz and Blues, and so much more. Amina, somebody hit me up in the DMs talking about, didn't Harriet Tubman live into the early 1900s? In fact, she didn't die until 1913. It's so crazy. We think about these things being far in the past, and, you know, and with the movement for reparations, you hear so many people saying, oh, well, that was a long time ago, but it really wasn't a long time ago. I mean, we have great grandparents and grandparents who were enslaved, so it couldn't have been that long ago.
Yeah, but I've never been on anything with you don't have time to talk, do you? Because there's so many damn commercials on that thing.
Yeah, we find time to talk, but you know, yeah, we do have people supporting the station, which is good because it keeps the lights on. But I hear you, Amina. Before we run out of time, I got to ask you about where we are right now in American history, because, you know, Biden and Trump both kicked off their campaigns this weekend. President Biden did his State of the Union address last week. And you've been very pragmatic in the 2020 election. And I'm imagining now in terms of, you know, some folks might have been surprised last time that you supported Biden, given your, you know, unapologetic and radical politics.
Yes, I sure do, because he's the only person that I can see that may beat Trump, because Trump is a straight up fascist. I don't care what anyone says, and we're also in a fascist climate. So I recommend that you better, as long as you get Trump out of there, and the only person that's in a place that has the power to do that right along now is Biden. And I wish these other people who don't have nothing else better to do than to think that they need to see where we are. They need to wake up and find out what time it is, you know, because they know they can't win nothing. So everybody should back Biden, and that's a step forward. Because right now we're in a fascist climate, and you don't fight fascism, you know, without everybody you can find, everybody you can get, Black, Latin, Asian, white. You can get children in it if they know how to pass out a leaflet.
So for people who say that, you know, Biden palled around with white supremacists back in the day, or that he was part of, you know, the Clinton crime bill, and so therefore he's anti-black and racist, I hear that a lot from especially online. What do you say to those people?
I tell them to wake up and find out what time it is. In fascism, you need a united front to fight it. You know, well, just think about this. Look at all the black soldiers that went over in World War II. And when they got back home, they couldn't even go to the same bathroom with these people. They couldn't, you know, they had to go through the back door. And they went out and fought for the freedom of the United States of America, but they had no freedom when they got home. And that you cannot deny. History has pointed that out. They have made movies about it and everything. And I don't understand. I just don't understand why people can't see. You got but one chance here to get rid of Trump. See, my whole goal is to get rid of him. And can't nobody else do that, because we don't have enough folks, and things are very backward right now. You know, I think there should be a united front against Trump.
Yeah.
And whatever ambitions that you have, let's wait till we get rid of him. And then, because if you don't get rid of him, you don't have no chance at all. We as a people, and I mean black, Latin, Asian, white, this man is out in front fascist. He's not trying to hide it.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't tell you what he going to do, and you see what he do. So I don't understand it. I don't understand
Do you worry that the Robert Kennedys, the Cornel Wests, and such will give these spoilers? Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because that's why I was mentioning World War II. You know, we knew that we couldn't go to the same bathroom at a restaurant or sit at the lunch counter, but we went out there and fought. I mean, our grandparents and great-grandparents, we joined the service. You know, they didn't have to come and get us. We voluntarily joined and come back. I had an uncle come back shell-shocked. I didn't know what that was, but he was kind of crazy. You know, he come to funerals that he say he ain't coming to and start singing Precious Lord. Mm-hmm. Mm. And I used to figure out, I said, what is wrong with Uncle Clarence? They said, well, he's shell-shocked. He was in the war. And I heard those stories over and over again. And the Civil Rights Bill was passed in what year? We talking about the 40s. World War II broke out in 41. I was born in 42, and it was over in 45. I was still a baby just about, you know. And we voluntarily went over there and came back home. Like I said, we couldn't even go to the same bathroom. Now, you got to think about that.
Yeah. Amina, it's really, really great to talk with you, commercials or no commercials, and I hope we can do it again soon. Thank you so much for joining me today, and happy Women's History Month.
Same to you. Okay. All right.
Thanks. You know what? I always leave with the quote, and I'm going to leave you with one of Amina's favorites from the song we started out with. It's Abby Lincoln. She says, I got people in me. She's talking about the ancestors. You better believe that. Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got a great lineup for you today. Don't forget you can check out all the podcasts that you may have missed for free wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find them on YouTube where they live. I'm Dominique DiPrima. I will see you Sunday, Black Women Are Divine, at Norman O. Houston Park, top of the hill in Baldwin Hills. History is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, be safe, be well, stay informed. One love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Top lawmakers on the Senate Intelligence Committee are warning about the greatest U.S. national security risks. During an interview on CBS News' Face the Nation, Virginia Democrat Mark Warner says the U.S. must push back against Russia in Ukraine, resolve the war in Gaza, but China remains the biggest challenge. He said China is